That's how we start off the show, guys. Nice and awkward.
That just happened. All right, time and time again, once again, back again, me and my friend.
Wow, that was pretty good.
I was right off the dome, too. We are back once again for another extraordinary shoe review. This time, we are talking about the Nyjah 3.
Wow.
He's had 3 shoes in, how many years
Has it been 3? No, it's been
longer than 3.
4 or 5 years?
Probably 5 years or so, I'd say. Yeah. So this is the 3rd one. This is the first time that he has dropped, well, Nike has dropped a shoe that doesn't use their free technology.
Oh, interesting.
So the first 2 were the Nyjah Free and the Nyjah Free 2. This time he went with a traditional cup sole, which is interesting because we just saw that need that part, and he needed that cup sole with a lot of that stuff he was doing.
He needed that, but he needed that cushion.
Yeah, that cushion. So neither of us have seen the shoe in person. We have them here, but we wanted to do an unboxing on camera just to kind of get our natural first impressions. Obviously, we've seen images, and you saw a few clips of Nyjah in them. Let's get right into it,
Let's do it, dude.
Man.
We got a box, dude.
Run it up.
We got shoe in a box.
I put my shoe in a box.
Do you want to do the honors?
I'll cut.
Okay,
and then you pull them out.
All right.
All right. Actually,
it's like
I feel like I don't want to just straight.
Oh yeah, like right in my face. Do little incisions here.
And then they say don't really.
The shoe doctor right here.
Boom. You know.
The box doctor.
The box doctor.
That's what they call me. Just kidding.
Oh, let's get it. Big dog. All right.
I'm just playing. Good times. Let's see.
Times.
All right.
Purple box SB.
Purple box SB.
I'll take that. Should we do it together?
Let's do it together,
Let's
man.
run it up.
Some magic stuff inside right here.
All
Okay.
right.
1, 2, 3. Oh.
They glowing.
Damn, that shit's tight.
Yes.
Well, here we go.
Let's get it.
First glimpse.
Literal first look, first impression, starting now.
Left side first shoe.
Yep.
Or is first.
Damn.
What size is this? This has got to be a 9.
This is a 9.
Yeah.
Yep. Good, bro.
It's kind of got a little golf vibe to it.
A little bit.
On the toe.
My first impression, one is it looks incredible. And it reminds me of, I don't know if this was the inspiration for the shoe, the Air Max Deluxe.
Okay.
It's a shoe that follows a similar pattern like this around the top. And it kind of gives me a little bit, do you remember Reese Forbes used to wear them all the time back in the day, the EQ.
Were those like the indestructible ones?
Indestructible.
Yeah.
It's got a little, obviously this is way different, but it's giving me a little EQ vibes with the pattern and the way that they have it up top too.
Those, when you're talking about the EQs, those were like super bulky.
Yeah.
And these were like very, very slim.
I mean, this thing is like...
Yeah, it's light as hell.
Super light. And for the first time, they stepped away from the Nike Free. So this actually uses air. Let me see it on the insole too, air zoom. So you got like, I guess you can see it better from the bottom actually.
Wait, if you take this out, it just...
There's no,
oh, no, okay, there's like a padding.
Yeah, so that's what, so in most Nike shoes that utilize air, it's a little pocket right there.
Okay.
And you can see it from the bottom because this has a translucent outsole. That's like the air unit, the zoom unit is what they call it. So if you were to like chop this up and then take it out of the midsole, you would be able to see that. So a lot of times what you see in shoes that have an air bubble is the inside of this.
Oh, okay.
So
I
that's
see what you're
why,
saying.
yeah,
Wow.
so that's why it's usually in the heel like that. But when you, I mean, the insole, there's really nothing to it. This is all the shoe, and it's like...
Yeah, this is super lightweight. With the insole, yeah, it's just like a really simple, just
Bro,
foam?
I don't even, it's foam. It's there's like, you can pinch it and feel straight through it.
They used to have the Lunarlon stuff. Do they still do that?
They still do it in some shoes, I believe. I know they went more towards React, which is like their version of Adidas had like Boost, and then Nike started doing React. And I think in one of Nyjah's shoes, it had like a little React portion in the middle.
It's slimmer, obviously, but like kind of narrow in a weird way, but it kind of widens out by the toe, like or like the midfoot, I guess you would call it, or what is that area called?
Yeah, so it's not as, so what I look at from this one, and I've had the first Nyjah shoe and the second, and the first one was super narrow.
Yeah.
That one was real slim. Like it was, your foot was secure, but it was also like, if you had a wider foot, you weren't getting those things on comfortably.
Yeah.
And then in the second shoe, they kind of widened it out a little bit more, and that one was modeled or inspired by the Nike Air Spiridon. The pattern and the way that they did it with the mesh and all that stuff on the top.
I know. I remember that one actually. Yeah,
that one was kind of the inspiration for that. But for this one, they've gone back to the booty, inner sock type, vibe.
Because they've had that based on every single one.
The first one was like that. The second one was a little more traditional. You had an actual tongue you could pop up.
Okay.
It still kind of followed a similar structure, but this one is all just like one piece technology essentially.
Except for, is this like this is
wings?
Kind of reminds me of a little bit of like Huarache style.
Yeah, okay. Like Presto's. It has like this exact same wing, if I'm not mistaken, right here on the collar. They definitely take design elements. Obviously, it's Nike. You have a vault full of things. You take design elements from other areas in your arsenal. He's wearing his shoe to skate, and he's wearing it to chill, and he's wearing it to rage. Yeah. So he needs something.
Boy, Rage is pretty good at these things.
Rage is super good.
Yeah.
So he needs something that's gonna be able to kind of transition from each of those things, even just like the aesthetics of the mesh for breathability. The first Nyjah shoe was like a sauna. That thing got so hot because it had, that was like the main complaint. It had no breathability really.
Okay.
Like your foot was locked in there tight, but you couldn't breathe. And then the second one, they used a lot of the mesh windows. So it'll be interesting to see how this one kind of plays out because they're spread out, but they're a lot smaller than in his last shoe.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of ventilation in this one, but they do it with style in this one,
Absolutely.
Yeah. You know what I like about this toe? Even though I said it's kind of golf looking, it kind of reminds me of the Costin 2 Nike. It was like a golf inspired. Kind of had a similar toe like that, but like this
one was a little pointier. I feel like.
Maybe it was a little pointier, but maybe it's just like it's a little round on the top, but like since it's so wide at one point and it gets a little.
I get what you're saying.
It
kind of bows out and then peeks back in.
For like switch flips, and nollie flips, it looks perfect. Just by the way that I skate and the way that I do it, it looks like it will grip the board super good. And you watch Nyjah's kick flips. He's so precise, but he barely puts his foot like there's the edge of the board. It's like it's right there.
I think that's the thing with Nyjah's shoes too. It's almost similar to Andy Anderson's board setup, like the way that things are designed.
Everything means something special.
Yeah, because he's so technical and precise. He was talking about, I want to say this was on Steve-O's Wild Ride podcast. He was talking about how every time he's rolling up to a set, like he has his feet in the same spot. He knows what he's doing. Like you can't just ride up to an 18 stair and kind of put your feet anywhere and hope that it'll work. So I feel like there's little things like maybe that being bowed out like that is probably better for his kickflips because he does just use the toe portion, but you can still have that like stability when you're standing on the board on the side like that.
It's funny because most skateboarders I would say out there are a big fan of suede, and that's like the typical like skater's favorite thing is suede shoe, And there's no suede on this at all.
No animal product. That was also something that I just really enjoy like podcasts and things, and then when I see like Nyjah on a Steve-O podcast, I'm like, oh, I definitely got to watch that. But it's funny that you say that because Steve-O was saying how Nyjah basically makes the best vegan skate shoe.
Okay.
Because there's no animal products in the shoe because it's all rubber and then, cotton. I don't know if that was by design, but his shoe from 1, 2, and 3 have all mostly been this rubber upper.
Yeah, it's never been in suede or anything like that. It's like not even leather really, or?
I want to say there were probably a few leather variations.
What is this, rubber? What is this?
Yeah, it's rubber. Yep.
So when it comes to like the sole, what I'm tripping on is it looks like it's just like almost like some sort of styrofoam on the bottom. What is underneath the actual like the holes?
Basically, what you're seeing underneath the outsole is just the midsole.
Okay.
So this is just like a rubber piece that has been fused on top of it, and then everything else below is what you see. And then because, like I said, they took away the free technology, those grooves, I'm sure that pattern is all designed for a specific reason based on how your foot flexes when you walk and when you skate. So it gives you that freedom with the outsole, but it's not necessarily like the grooves on the side. Because when you bend any Nike Free but Nyjah shoes, you can basically like ball it up because everything, all the grooves that were on the side would allow for it to just kind of flex and bend. Okay. So I think when they originally introduced Nike Free, it was for running and it was supposed to be more of a barefoot feel. So when runners were running, they could actually get just the same movements that they would get barefoot with the shoes on. So they took that and put that in the Nyjah shoes, and it's interesting to see now that they've just done away with that and gone traditional cup sole, and it still looks good, and it still looks like a Nyjah shoe. You know what I mean?
It definitely is the Nyjah. Like I don't know, for the last 5 years we've been watching him skate in his shoes or whatever. It's like the exact same silhouette.
Yeah. Yep.
Same style, and I mean, it's just very kind of like him with these shorts on. You know it's him. You never see him wearing pants unless they're the leggings. You know what I mean?
And it's cool too because Nyjah says he's pretty hands-on when it comes to the design process, and I think Nike really wants their athletes to be in that process the entire time. So they assign them a designer, and you can tell Nyjah's inspiration is in this. And the more I'm looking at it, like this is definitely. This is like the Presto in the back and the Spiridon in the top, and it's just, you can really see what Nike was doing as far as taking some of their lifestyle and some of their performance shoes and putting it into this and taking it to the skate masses. And I really think people are going to enjoy skating in this shoe, man.
I wonder how long it lasts. I haven't been able to skate them, obviously, because we checked them out, but I saw they retail for 110.
110, yep.
Which, with inflation these days, it seems like kind of a normal price. Like, you know what I mean? It's expensive,
but yeah, when you're paying for a shoe like this, you expect it to last for a long time. And I think because of the rubber material that they use, and I don't know how thick this is and how deep it goes for the top portion, but it looks like it'll last a pretty long time. So when you're paying that, obviously you want a shoe that's going to last you. My thing is I want to see how it wears over time, because the first shoe, you put that thing on, you walk, you take 2 steps, and your whole toe box is wrinkled up.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I wonder how it's gonna wrinkle up here. But with the rubber, it might be a lot more stable.
It's hard to say. The first shoe was rubber too, but it didn't have, like, now that they have the ventilation for the breathability, it might impact that, so it might take a little bit of that away from it. But yeah, that first one, it was just like you step and one walk, and those things look like they had 1,000 miles on them already. So
yeah, no, it's interesting too with like the laces. It's like you almost don't even need the laces.
Really need them. Yeah.
Like they're gonna stay the same exact. Like they're gonna be just as tight on your foot.
Yeah, the only one that I feel would do the most impact would be this back piece.
Oh, yeah.
You tighten the plastic and it's going to get a little bit tighter around your heel.
Totally.
So it'll kind of secure you in a little bit. But as far as, the lacing is more for style than anything else, because, you're not really pulling these too tight.
I've seen a few, I've only seen 2 colorways. This and like a green one.
Yeah, it's like a light, I don't even know what color green it would be.
It was interesting when you launch with a color like that. You're like, oh, it looks cool, but it's like, that's random.
Right.
But the white is just very Nyjah.
And this is Nyjah, exactly.
And it's like clean.
That's the thing. With Nyjah's shoes, the white always drops first, and it's in the line the entire time of that life cycle of that shoe.
Oh, so okay.
This is one of the staples, and you never really see Nyjah stray away unless it's a variation of a white colorway, like when they did the Lakers LeBron collab, and it was white, purple, and gold. But for the most part, this is straight up traditional Nyjah. This is what you're gonna see every year, and I love it, man. I like white shoes.
Oh, no, white shoes are my favorite. That's always actually kind of what I wear.
Yeah,
I don't know why when you look down, even though they go through them real quick, when you look down on them, you just feel, you're like, all right, cool. Bro. And especially they look clean. You know what I mean? You're like, oh, this is. I feel good right now.
Exactly.
You're going out shoes, your skate shoes.
It's crispy. It's something about it, man.
Yeah.
I love it.
I was gonna say too, when we're talking about the vegan stuff, what's interesting working at Soltech and hearing the analytics of the websites and everything like that, the most searched thing on the website is vegan.
Really?
Yeah. So it's like there are people out there who just will not skate any animal type product on a shoe or anything. So this is a shoe for everyone.
Yep. Absolutely.
I'm really curious to see what colorways they come out with. I mean, there's certain panels I guess you could.
There's a couple things that you could do. So I've seen there's a black pair, obviously, and then the green pair. And then I saw some, I don't know if they were real, but I saw some renderings online. So you have these little plastic pieces to play with, like the little wings. You can change the color of the foam, which will then also change the color of that.
Yeah.
So you can get creative with the outsole and then in between the webbings, and then just the little collars. You could do yellow rubber, and then this heel collar could be purple and things like that, so you can kind of play around with it that way. But one thing that I would love to see, and they used to do this with the Stefan, they might still do it actually, I just haven't done it in a long time, is they don't call it Nike ID anymore, it's Nike by you, but basically being able to customize your own
they don't do that anymore? Or
they do, but I don't know if they do it for as many of the skate silhouettes. Okay. I would love to see something like this hit that Nike by You program, even if it's just for a limited run, because if you just give people the option to be creative and kind of make something their own, you're gonna flock to it. And I think this is one of those shoes, you don't get too wild, you don't get too crazy with it, but if you can change a couple things, maybe change the color of the swoosh, change the text of his name, just having those little hits would be something that's kind of fun, and I always enjoyed that. Even if you're not ordering the shoe, just getting on and kind of playing with the colorways and seeing what you can create. And sometimes you strike out, and then sometimes you're just like, oh, this is the one.
You just work through it
right now. Yeah. So
you know,
really dope.
What I really like about this too is that it's really tech. Obviously, it's really tech, but it's not like this crazy bulky shoe.
Yeah.
So it's not like. It's definitely like, there's a lot of like the 90s stuff where it's big and puffy, which is awesome, and I love that stuff, but this one is really like super tech, and it's weird to see slimmer shoes have so much techness to them. It's not like that common, I feel like, in skate shoes.
Yeah.
Usually the tech ones are like super bulky and like
kind of packed out. It's not even bulky. It's just like beefed up a little bit is around the heel, because the other ones have always been fairly slim throughout. This one adds a little bit of padding in the heel collar and the cup sole, but like it reminds me. You said golf earlier. It kind of gives me a little bit more, as I look at it, soccer vibes.
Oh, I can see that too.
Because that's another sport where it's more of an extension of your foot.
Very
it's just
true.
a guard,
it's just wrapped around your foot.
Wrapped around your foot. So it's sort of giving me that like soccer, football
nice.
vibe. But it's not super tech, but it's enough to where you don't feel like you're gonna, even if your board hit, it doesn't really feel like it would be too gnarly of a.
Well, I mean, this tongue, whatever, the sock tongue part is really thick.
Yeah.
But if you're looking for a shoe that is snug and you don't really have to worry about tying it or anything, this is definitely like right up your alley. I like a lot of people like, they like to have a loose shoe. You know what I mean? Like really loose. These are just going to be wrapped around your foot. Like you're not going to be able to loosen them at all unless.
Right.
Actually,
there's nothing.
There's nothing you could do to like really make it that loose.
You're not really. There's no tongue straps or anything because there's no tongue. I think that this one is, and something I talk about every time we sit up here, is one of those shoes. You can wear it with denim. You can wear it with chinos. You can wear them with shorts. This fits the bill all the way across the board for me.
What about corduroys?
You can run cords all day, dog.
What about like some bell bottoms or something?
Bell bottoms? I mean, it might work.
It's a little thin for some bell bottoms, but I could look kind of cool. It's a new look. Maybe Nyjah could pull it off.
Nyjah could pull it off for sure. I haven't gotten to put them on yet, but just based off aesthetic, I love them. Yeah. They look great. This is one of those ones, man. I really want this shoe. Once I saw it, I first saw it just like randomly online.
Well, did you see it like way before it came out?
Not way before. I didn't see.
I know you're like so in tune with things like you've seen shit like fucking 6 months ago or something like that. Like I was like,
Nike is usually pretty good with these types of things, keeping them under wraps. When it comes to like Jordan Brand and basketball shoes and things, those things get leaked really quick. This one I just saw, like I said, I saw some renderings and things online, and I want to say, oh man, maybe what is it, December now?
Yep.
Probably October.
Okay,
so not that far back. Yeah. But it was one that caught my eye for sure, and it's.
Were you really surprised by it, or you're like, oh, it's kind of right up his alley?
It's right up. It's
the silhouette's right there.
The bill. Yeah. It's right up the alley of the Nyjah 1. The Nyjah 2, I think, was the one that kind of went a little left, just because they were, I think, trying to make up for how little breathability the first shoe had.
Yeah.
So they went down that road and kind of opened it up a bit more, but it just. Seeing Nyjah in that one when he did the commercial downtown LA, it didn't look as good to me as his first shoe did. And then seeing him in this one and those few clips that were sprinkled in and Need That, I was like, yeah, that's back. That's back where we need to be.
Well, speaking of Need That, you think this dude's getting Skater of the Year?
I wholeheartedly believe that Nyjah deserves to be Skater of the Year.
For 2022.
For 2022. If he does not receive Skater of the Year, well, I think it's rigged.
But I will say, there's a lot of great skateboarding going across the board from everyone.
Absolutely.
I will say the same thing.
Not taking away from anybody else, but my opinion, Nyjah deserves Skater of the Year.
Yeah, that last part, you're like, well, I mean, to be honest, if you're doing shit like that, you're like, oh, I got to get these fucking shoes. Like,
it's got to be the shoes.
It's got to be the shoes. We do not know when they're announcing it, so by the time this comes out, it might have already been announced.
Yeah, it might have already been.
So congratulations, Nyjah. It's fantastic. I love it. I love congratulations. Me and Steezus, we got your back.
We got you.
And we got your shoes too.
We got your shoes. They look incredible. I would love to get my foot in them. So Nike, if you got a 14, which I know you do because I checked the site, holla at your boy. You think I can squeeze it?
You can probably get two. You wear 18?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We'll just cut the toe out, cut the heel, fuse them together, and I'll just wear one.
It's a human or shoe centipede. Sorry.